came up with the project Unraveling Beethoven because the two of us wanted to play a Beethoven cycle together.
We've been so enamored and kind of in awe of the towering genius and the towering monument that Beethoven left in the form of the violin and piano sonatas. We play those all the time. We teach them to our students, we play them in concert, we grew up listening to them, and we want to bring them forward in time with us. They're such an important part of our identity and our musical soul.
And we thought it would be really cool to bring that music into the present day by thinking about how composers interact with that music now and how they respond to that music now and how it becomes a part of the fabric of what composers work with today.
We asked 5 composers to respond to the 10 Beethoven violin and piano sonatas, and we assigned each composer to respond to a pairing of 2 Beethoven sonatas. So the idea would be that for a concert, you would have 5 concerts and you get all 10 Beethoven sonatas with 1 new piece. One of the things that we discovered in performing a lot of the Beethoven sonatas alongside the new works is that so many audience members, so many listeners were coming up to us and approaching us and saying, it would be great if you did a concert of just the new works. They were so interested and so moved by these works. Then we thought, well, why don't we make a recording of all 5 works? And so that's what we did. We've got this Unraveling Beethoven album with 5 new works from Jesse Jones, Dave Garner, Robert Honstein, Alan Anderson, and Tonia Ko.
After they approached me, I was first really excited to respond to Beethoven. In almost all of the music that I write, I like drawing on past music or historical recordings. I really like working with music to create new pieces. This was a really exciting opportunity to respond to a big and intense, powerful piece in Beethoven's Kreutzer Sonata.
Beethoven is very foundational for the field of composition in a way. He sort of was an innovator. He set the stage for a lot of things that came afterwards. So he's a composer that I look back at and I think I can draw influence from simply because he's kind of, the marks of what he created are so ubiquitous.
And each of the works is very, very different. Each of them it stands alone, and in some the connection to Beethoven is more obvious. There might be a theme or a textural connection, and in others the connection is more esoteric. So when you listen to the 5 pieces, you're not necessarily thinking, oh, this one sounds like this part of Beethoven and this one sounds like that part of Beethoven, but you're really thinking, oh, it's amazing what a spell Beethoven cast over music so long ago that's still influencing the different paths that composers might take today.
To get to where we are today, not just me personally, but everybody, you know, in the field of music, we had to build upon what came before us. To learn our instruments, to learn our craft, we do that through studying the works of people that came before us. So it's sort of baked into the DNA of who we are as performers, composers, to have a relationship with the music of the past. That's there, it's always there, and it's a part of what we do. So I think there's always a value to go back at it and sort of look at it in fresh eyes and with fresh eyes and see what you can find that might be new. Because I'm taking something that I already have a relationship with, that I've already been in conversation with, maybe internally for a long time. I'm taking that, and that foundation, I think that brings a richness and a depth to my work and my ideas, which I can then, you know, take from and then project into new ideas.
And throughout the process, as we continued playing the new pieces and recording the pieces, as well as continuing to play the Beethoven, we felt like we started to understand the Beethoven in new ways because of the work we'd done with the new pieces and the perspective that the composers had shone upon the Beethoven that we'd been working with and living with for so long already.
I think it creates a way to engage with the repertoire. I think it's great for building programs as well. And also I think there are some composers perhaps who think that we shouldn't touch those masterworks, and doing so is somehow a disservice to those pieces. But I think that's off the mark. I think it's our responsibility to do that and to revisit those masterworks and treat them as as old friends instead of statues on a pedestal.
We take Beethoven with us into the next part of our century, and we also have new music that's being spawned in connection with the Beethoven sonatas.